and welcome back to my channel. My name is Federico Tartarini, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to write this beautiful CV using LaTeX. Yes, you heard me right, we are going to use LaTeX, but don't worry, even if you have never used LaTeX, I will explain you step by step how you can create this CV, and you will see that eventually it's much easier than what you thought. I'm going to show you all the steps, and I'm going to provide the source code. I've already created a GitHub gist in which I have shared my code. But don't worry, even if you have never used GitHub, you will be able to follow along because I will show you all the steps that you need to do. And then after showing you how to create this CV here, which contains different sections, as you can see here, but also has nice icons, it has link that the person can click and it will be redirected to another page. In this case, for instance, it's going to be redirected to my LinkedIn page. So we will be able to see how to add icons, how to add an email, which again is clickable, and then we can send an email to that person, in this case it's me. We can have different section, different text here, so it's nice that we have a bullet point here and we have some text here in bold, but also the name of the role here. Then we're going to have an education section, peer-reviewed publication, affiliation, conferences, awards, skill, and references. I will also show you how you can edit it to make it your own and to tailor it to your needs. So don't worry, I will explain everything. So as I was mentioning before, I will first show you how to compile this document, and it's going to be very simple. And then after that, we're going to have a look at the Overleaf gallery, which contains very beautiful templates that you can also use to write your CV. I really like that template that I'm going to show you at the beginning of the video, because I think it's very nice and it's perfect in my case because I'm a researcher and I want to write a lot of information about myself because I need to write about journal articles and so forth, because this is like just common in the academia. However, if you think that a different type of templates suits better your needs, or you like another type of template, just feel free to check here on Overleaf gallery, because there are a lot of different templates which are very nice. I will also show you how to get started with these templates, and check down in the video description to find a link here to the Overleaf gallery. But basically it's on their website, so overleaf.com/gallery, and then you will be able to find all the CV. By the way, here in their gallery they also have other templates if you want to write academic journal, books, formal letters, poster, and so forth. But let's go back to the CV because that's what this video is about. So I will first show you how to get started with this template. We are going to modify it a bit, and we're going to see that Overleaf is going to be extremely helpful if you have never used LaTeX. And then we are going to just get started with a template. So the only requirement for this video, and for you to follow along, if you want to follow along, of course, with Overleaf, is to have an Overleaf account. However, you can always download the source code locally and compile it on your machine, which is my preferred option, but I decided to use Overleaf in this video because I think it makes it very handy, especially if you have never used LaTeX. You will see that it's very nice and very easy to use LaTeX with Overleaf, because basically you don't need to install a compiler on your computer, you don't have to do all those steps, which takes time and could be a bit daunting, especially if you never use LaTeX. With Overleaf, as you can see, we have a right tab where we have our PDF, and on the left we have the source code. Moreover, in Overleaf you can create an account for free, so there is nothing that you have to pay to just create and compile this document. Once you are done, and once you are happy with the look of your PDF, you can simply download it by clicking here, download PDF. So this will download our CV in the downloads folder, and then you can open it with any PDF reader, as you can see as I'm doing here. So you can see that now I have my PDF on my computer and I can share it with whoever I want. Before we start, I just would like to take a second to ask you to like the video if you like this type of content, and to subscribe to my channel if you found this video interesting. So let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is, if you want to follow along with this template, is to go here on this page, which I will put a link down in the video description, and then you will find this source code here. You can click on Raw here. This will open all this text. Don't worry too much, we can just do Ctrl-A and Ctrl-C. So we're going to copy all this text. Let's go then in Overleaf here. So you see all my project. We can click on New Project. Of course, in your case, you will have to sign in or create an account. So we can click on New Project here, and then we select Blank Project. We have to give a project name. So I'm going to say YouTube CV example. And we're going to click on Create. Now, we can remove all the code that is here on the left side, here in the source tab. So we can select all this code here and press Ctrl V. This is going to paste all the source code that I've shared with you in the GitHub gist. Another thing that you can do is you can collapse this left side tab because it's the file tree, which we are not going to need it, especially if you compile the document in Overleaf. So let's collapse that. Here, if you see the PDF small like mine, you can control the size with the zoom in and this zoom out button. So let's actually increase it. And the final thing that we are going to need to do is to recompile the document. LaTeX is a compile language. So as you can see, on the left side, we are writing the source code. Then we need to compile this source code and create the output PDF. Nothing to worry about, because Overleaf takes care of all of that in the background. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to install any compiler. That's why I really like Overleaf, especially for tutorials. In Overleaf, to compile a document, we just have to click here at the top, recompile. And then as you can see, we can also press Ctrl plus Enter to compile our document. So let's actually do that, and let's recompile the document. Let's see how you can work on it, because as you can see, unfortunately, the LaTeX code could be a little bit daunting and a little bit complex, especially if you've never seen it or never written any LaTeX. But don't worry, because there is a very good trick that we can use in Overleaf. In Overleaf, if you click anywhere on the PDF, so let's say that your name is not Federico Tartarini, but I assume that it's going to be another name, and you want to find Federico Tartarini, well, you can actually do Ctrl F here in the source code and look for Federico Tartarini, and here actually you will find my name. So you can change that to another name. And then I highly recommend you to recompile your document quite often, especially if you are a beginner, because you will see that if you just in case you make a mistake, then you can catch what caused the mistake. So let's recompile the document with Ctrl Enter, and as you can see, we have changed the text. But an even better way, at least in my opinion, to change the text is actually to click on the text that you want to change here. So let's say that I work for the Berkeley Education Alliance for Research in Singapore. But if you don't work for the same company as me, you can actually double click here. So I double click on education. The Overleaf has taken the cursor on that line that I've clicked. So you can say my current company. And then press Ctrl Enter, and then you can recompile the document. See, now we have changed to my current company. Let's do the same thing here with this industrial research project. And let's actually say that we want to completely remove that, because you just want to have 2 items here. So that also is very simple. Commands in LaTeX are usually surrounded by curly braces. So as you can see here, the resume item is comprises 2 curly braces. One is the title, which is this industrial research project, and then semicolon. And then there is all this text here. So if we want to remove this bullet point here, we just have to delete the full resume item. So we can just select here, and actually Overleaf again comes very handy because it highlights the curly braces. So it highlights that we have a curly braces starting from here all the way down till here, and this is going to be the body of that bullet point, and here we have like the bold text. So let's delete all these text here, and then press Ctrl Enter, and you can recompile. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. We just have to click on the location or click on the text that we want to change. Here you want to change Singapore, for instance, and here you can see that here there is Singapore, and you can say my location. And then as I'm doing here, you can go along and change the body of the document. Pretty straightforward. Another thing that you can change are actually the icons here. So in this case, we don't want to click directly on the icon because I put a link to an external page. In this case, you will have to click on John Doe, which is your name or whatever name you want to put. Another thing that I've already included in this template are font awesome icon, but for LaTeX. As you can see, this package here, which I'm going to put a link in the description, or you can just do a Google search and you can say font awesome LaTeX. It already includes a lot of icons that you can use inside your PDF. So let me go back to the previous tab here. As you can see, I have this LinkedIn icon. So here we can see that we have an href, and again, if you're familiar with HTML, href means that we are referring to an external page. Okay, let's actually change that, and we're going to say www.google.com. In this case, we don't need all the rest because that was my LinkedIn page. And instead of having FA LinkedIn, we are going to look for Google. So here we can do Ctrl F, and then we'll say Google. We can look for Google. So we have font awesome Google. So let's go back. Yeah, so instead of FA LinkedIn, it's going to be FA Google. Let's recompile, Ctrl Enter, And now this icon should change exactly from LinkedIn to Google. I've also added comments here to explain where the CV starts. I know that these again could sound a bit complex if you have never used LaTeX, but in LaTeX we have all the body of the document between these two commands, which is begin document and end document. So we have 200 or more lines of code which we are using to generate our document. All the rest, so the previous 80 lines that I've all highlighted here, are called the preamble of our document. And as you can see, inside here, I'm defining some custom command, such as the resume item that I was explaining before, or some section formatting, so we are adding that we want this line here, or other things. For instance, another thing that you may want to change is the color of the icon. So you might not like this blue color that I've selected. Here I've actually clearly explained that when you see a percentage sign, it means that this is a commented line, so it's not going to be compiled. And here we can say that we want the color of the links equal to true, so we want to be color, and we can specify the colors of the links. So in my case, I've selected that I wanted a blue color, and as you can see, I've specified here because I've specified an RGB color. Okay, just keep in mind that RGB color in LaTeX are defined between 0 and 1, not between 0 and 255. So basically, in this case, I'm defining a blue color because basically I have half of blue because RGB, 0 green, and very, very little of red, just to get this color here. But of course, feel free to play around. Let's actually make it another color. So let's just put it gray, because if I put in equal amount all the RGB, I'm going to have a gray. So let's change that, and you will see that now the color has changed. So perhaps you like this color more, and feel free to use this one. And here at the top, I'm actually importing all the packages. Again, no need for you to change this code. So let's go back here. Let's go and change a few more things, and let me show you actually a couple more things. So here I've used this command, which is today, which is going to update today's date, which I think is pretty handy, so you don't have to update it. It's going to be updated automatically. And here, again, we have a link to our email. So if I double click here, you can see that here we have email, column, and then we have mail too. So if I click on that email, the person that clicks on that email is going to be taken to the email provider or your default tool that you use to write emails on your computer, and is going to send an email to email.gmail.com. But this is going to be how the email looks like. So here it doesn't even have to be the same. You can be mail@gmail. So this is what is going to render here, mail@gmail. But eventually, when the person is sending the email, is going to send the email at gmail.com. So just keep that in mind and make sure that you change the value in both fields here. Otherwise, you're going to have a bit of a problem. And here you might find this thing a bit annoying, but it's very useful here when we want to put a link to Google, as I showed you before, or to GitHub, because we don't want to have this very long link. We just want to have a very nice icon. But then when the person clicks on that icon, is going to be redirected to this URL. If, for instance, you want to add a new position where you work, it's pretty straightforward, because we can see that the last word is transit here, and the first one is near. So we just have to copy this resume item here. So we just go down here, we copy a new one, and you can say my position, and then we can say tasks. And now we can see that we have added a new position, which is called my position, and it is showing all the tasks that you have done. Another very nice thing of this template is that automatically calculates and reformat the text for you. So as you can see here, it has added a new position, but it has kept a nice formatting, and it has pushed in the next page or automatically calculate where to put all the text. And the same is true if I decided to cancel some positions. So let me actually cancel a few positions. So here I'm canceling that last position that I've created, and also I'm going to cancel all these very long positions here at the University of Wollongong. So I'm going to cancel this one. So again, pretty simple. You just double click here, University of Wollongong, which starts from here, and then you scroll down till the last word, which is resume item list end. So let me cancel that. Let me recompile the document, Control Enter. You will see that now all that chunk of the document is gone. But, and here is another position, I had two positions at the University of Wollongong, so it's not a mistake. But now, automatically, LaTeX has organized the text for us, and it is very smart in not putting this section here in this page, because basically you will just have the title of the section, but you would not have enough space for the journal publication. You don't have to worry too much about the look of the paper, you just have to write the code. Of course, unfortunately, because we wrote a lot of things, now we're going to have the references that are going to be in the last page. then in this case, I mean, LaTeX cannot do anything for you. In this case, you will have to just adjust and maybe remove some text if you want to have these references in the previous page. So now I showed you how to remove one item here from a list, from a bullet list, but what if you want to add a new section, okay? So in this case, you want to add a new section, such as references, or you want to add a new section, which is soft skill. Well, again, you just go to references here, and then we can copy all these text here, and then we can paste it here at the bottom. So we can say soft skills, and then here is going to be soft skills. And then we have resume sub-heading list start, and then here we have all the sub-headings. As you can see, you can copy, either use this format here, which has some text in bold here at the top, followed by some text which is italicized here. I like this one for awards, or I like this one for a job position, because you have a job or a location where you work, a company, and then you have the title of the position. But of course, you can also have a list. And if you want to use this format here, which is like this bullet list here, you just have to click here on professional affiliations. And then in this case here, just copy the text. So we are going to copy all the text here in the professional affiliation. Or actually, let me show you first the other one. Let me compile the other one first. So we can do Control Enter. So we are going to recompile that. So here we have soft skill. So it's going to look like something like this, which is going to be like Python. But then underneath you don't want to have anything, so don't worry about that. We just go here in languages. So we copy this item. So let me copy all these things here. Let's copy it in the new section that we have actually created. Let's recompile. And then here we just have to change. So languages, I don't know, cycling. And then I can say, I love to cycle. And then, of course, soft skill is not really cycling, but I didn't come up with any better idea. So let me recompile the document. And you will see that now there is a soft skill cycling. Of course, it could have been like networking and so forth, up to you. And also, of course, you can even add a simple begin enumerate command. So begin enumerate is going to add a list, which is number list. So it could have been cycling. And then let me press Control Enter. And of course, now we have an enumerated list. So we have number 1, which is cycling, number 2, which is another item, and could be networking. So I really hope that this made it clear, and now you know how to edit this template and make it yours. So once you are done, as I previously mentioned, just go here, download PDF, and you can download the PDF on your computer. If there are any commands here at the top of the document that are not clear to you, and you really don't understand how to fix them, and you cannot find an example here already in this template, just please feel free to write a comment down in the video below, and just feel free to ask me a question, and I will be happy to help you and to answer your question that you leave down in the comment section. The final thing that I want to show you for today is how to get started with a template from the gallery. So we can go back here to the Overleaf gallery, resume CV. So let me pick another template, just because I want to show you an example. So I'm here, I'm just to click in this one, just because it has already an image, so you don't have to go to the trouble of adding an image yourself. So you can click here on the template that you want to import, for instance. And the first thing that I would highly recommend you to do is to download the PDF. This allows you to check the PDF and see if the author has considered to have only one page or multiple pages. But this is nice because it has 2 pages. And the content is organized a little bit different from my own CV, the one that I showed you before. So let's say that we are happy with this one. We have 2 options, either clicking on View Source Code. And this is basically the same approach that we used before. So we can control copy all this code here and we can compile it locally. Or we can again use Overleaf, because as I showed you before, you can do that because you can create a new basic document. But even better is to click here on Open as Template. This is going to open that CV specifically on our Overleaf account, and is going to open it as a project template. So now, as we did before with my CV, we just have to go through all the sections and change them based on our need. So here, of course, I will have to change the name, so we can double click here. Again, this time Overleaf didn't do a super great job, because it actually redirected here on the picture, as you can see here. But actually, we want the name, to change the name here. So, but we can see that this is line 30. And again, if you want to, you could have done a Control F. So for instance, if you click here on France, and actually this time we are in the right line, so there is no problem. But if you click on, you want to change this word DOS, and you, by any chance, you were not redirected to the right line, again, it always works by doing Control F, and you could have done DOS, and you would have found this DOS into the source code, and you could have changed that. So you can say JavaScript. I'm just putting random text just to show you that it's pretty simple to change the text and to add the new sections if you want to. Again, let's say that we want to add a new section here, certifications. Let's add a new one. And again, we use the same example as before. We call it soft skills. So we know already that this is a commented out code, so we don't need to change it. But of course, we can just say soft skills. But just to show you that this does not change the document, even if I recompile. But now we have a new section because we just added it. So here, instead of certification, we can say soft skills. And then here, text boldface, we can say networking. And again, you can change it, and you can choose to change it as you want to. And as you can see, we have networking, and then here we have changed it based on our needs. Last thing that I'm going to show you is how to change the image. So of course you are not going to be looking like this person here. So we have like here a face. We can see also because it's PNG, but we could have clicked here on the image, and then Overleaf is redirecting us to the right location. So we can just look for an avatar on Google. So we're just going to download this one, doesn't matter, I just want to show you an example. So we can just do Control save image as, and then we can save it as a PNG here on in the downloads folder. Then we can go back, upload in Overleaf. We can click here, and then we can select a file from your computer. So I'm in downloads, image avatar. So this is as uploaded the image, which is perfect. The last thing that we need to change is here the link to the image. So here we have this space, and we are going to say image avatar, and no need even to specify the extension of the file. So we don't need to even to specify PNG. So we can change, and now we have our avatar. So of course you can change that, and you can put your own picture. I really hope you find this video informative. Again, if you have any question, please consider leaving your question down in the comment section below. I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. I really hope you like it, and if you did, please consider liking my video with the like button under this video, or even better, if you can, just subscribe to my channel. If you like this type of content, you can also support my channel by buying me a coffee or supporting me on Patreon. I would really appreciate that. Any support is greatly appreciated. If you want to learn more about LaTeX, I have more than 30 videos on YouTube, and I have a full LaTeX playlist, so you may find that interesting. Thank you very much for listening, and see you in the next video.